everybody? It is your favorite Barely Indian boys. We're back. I think last episode we made the statement, "Hey, sorry we've been gone for 2 weeks." And then we didn't have another episode for like a month. But you guys can blame Neesh for that because as you can see, well, Neesh, say something so they can see your background.
Say something okay, I got you. What's up, everybody? It's been a hot minute, but yeah, the reason why it's been a hot minute
Don't
is
tell him yet. Don't tell him yet. So as you
I
can see
broke my
from
foot.
Nietzsche's background, yeah, he's got a different background. He's in a new location. So yeah, tell us about it. How'd you break your
Yeah.
foot?
I got a new apartment, and while I was getting this new apartment and moving, I didn't break my foot. I don't know if I said that. But no, I ended up leaving my job and I got a new one on the other side of the country.
What?
You're
Niche left.
so bad at being surprised.
Well, okay, yeah, I'm not surprised because I have known for what, probably like 2 months now.
Yeah, something like that. I think you knew when I
Yeah.
interviewed.
Yeah, I've known for a long time, but we weren't able to talk about it for a while until everything was finalized. And then this dummy over here left his microphone and all of his recording equipment like in storage while he moved. So then we couldn't record.
Yeah, it
So it's
was a
been a
struggle,
minute.
man. Yeah.
But tell the people where you're at, man. Where you said across the country. Where'd you go?
Dude, I'm on the West Coast now. Yeah. So I moved to San Jose, California, home of wildfires, earthquakes, and all natural disasters because
My
I'm stupid
God,
like that. Yeah,
you make that
but
sound horrible.
I mean, it's not too bad. The weather's pretty nice. I'm like, I got a view of this park where I'm living at, and there's like a basketball court, and there's always someone like walking a dog. And usually, like around like 5 o'clock, there's like 10, 15 dogs just like running around free with the owners just kind of chilling, even during COVID times, which whatever. Um, but
Dude, it's
no,
crazy. It's crazy that like during COVID time, we both moved and like to opposite coasts. You know what I mean? Like we both moved from Tennessee. I went further east and you went way west.
well, we're in Tennessee. It's not like you can go that much far east.
I mean, yeah, but I did.
Yeah, imagine like if we were in like Oklahoma or something, that'd be like equidistance.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know geography very well. I don't know where
Dude,
Oklahoma is on the map.
we were talking about that. I was with my sister for Thanksgiving, and we were talking about like geography in general. And me and my brother-in-law, we were giving my sister like we were just being sarcastic, and I was like, I really don't know what's like. Before I moved to California, I didn't really know anything about California geography wise. Like, I knew LA was in like the southern part of Cali, but and
Yeah.
like San Francisco was kind of in the northern part, but like had no
Yeah.
idea like Sacramento and all this stuff where all these other cities were. But like we got talking about geography, and I was like, I really don't know like even what's like west of Arkansas because that's where she lives.
Yeah.
And we started talking about it,
I don't
and
even know where Arkansas is.
me, yeah, you do.
I don't.
Do you know where Memphis is at?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Arkansas is literally on the other side of Memphis.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
wild, didn't it?
Yeah.
But we were talking and we were just making jokes towards my sister because she was like, "You guys are dumb," and we're like, "How are we dumb? We've just never like looked at a map since like high school. In high
That's
school,
so
I
true,
knew,
though. That's so true.
and like we were like, oh yeah, like Montana's like over like northeast over by like Vermont, and just like shooting the shit, right? Just like saying random stuff, and she just looked at us like this with this blank look in her face, and she was
She
like,
probably
"You
thought you
guys
were
are so
so
dumb."
dumb. She
She
probably
did.
thought you were so dumb.
Well, it was like both of us were just messing with her, and she was like, "You guys can't be serious," and we were just like, "No, Montana's definitely by Vermont. Like, what are you talking about? Where do you think it's at?" And she was like, "Guys, it's like over by like Oregon and like Idaho and shit." And I was like, "No," and she just like went on and trying to convince us, and we were just like, "We know where Montana's at." But no, to your
Dang.
point, like I really don't know where anything else is at. Like I
Yeah.
recently found
No
out like
idea.
Vegas is pretty close to here, so might hit up
Yeah.
Vegas.
Not that far, right? Like a couple hours driving.
Yeah, like Reno, I think is like 3.5 hours, and then I think LA, Las Vegas is a little bit further south than that. But might go to Vegas if you want to fly out here. Flights to Vegas are pretty cheap because you gamble everything away after you get there.
I'm pretty poor right now, student loans and no job and everything. But
But
when
you
I
could
eventually
win.
make money,
You could win and pay for your loans. That's the thing.
oh,
That's the thing. You
I
gotta think about
actually think, like, speaking of gambling, first off, I've only been gambling like twice. I think my family went to Vegas one time and we didn't really gamble. And then I've been on two cruise ships. I've been on more than two cruise ships, but those were the only other times that I've been like in a casino. And
You
the
lost 10
last
bucks
time,
to me.
when?
We played poker in
Oh yeah,
college senior year, and you were
yeah,
like, I
you
don't know what
punked
I'm
me.
doing. I didn't punk you. You literally had like the worst hand. You were like, I'm all in.
Well, I
And
thought you were bluffing. That's the point of poker, isn't it?
no,
Yeah.
yeah, no.
When you think the other person's bluffing, you go all in.
Yeah, but you gotta have something.
I didn't.
I
I had
know.
like a high card or something.
I know.
But anyway, Barb and I went on this cruise and we went into like the cruise ship casino and we played, I think we played blackjack, but
Oh,
not with a person, on like a machine,
no.
which was weird, dude. But we we doubled our money. I think we more than doubled our money. We went in with like $5 or something and we came out with 20. Yeah.
When you say double your money, I was like, oh, you played with like $100 and you won $100.
Nope.
I was thinking like, oh, you paid for like one of your guys' cost of the ticket or
Nope.
something like that. And you're over here,
$5 came out with 20.
talking about, oh, I went in with like 3 bottles of Mountain Dew
Dude,
and I ended up getting 18.
I would never do that. Like, I feel like right now, because of COVID, like so many people are into like sports betting and stuff, you know? Are your friends like into that right now? A bunch of my friends are into sports betting. I don't know why.
I feel like everyone's usually into sports betting, but like now people don't have anything else to do, so that's all they do and all they talk about.
Yeah. I would
But
never
like
do it, man.
non-COVID times, I feel like
I,
people were still sports betting, but like they also had other things. But like people do like the fantasy drafts and sports betting and stuff. I think it's just now becoming, I don't know, more people are talking about it.
I hate that because like you in when you're betting on sports, you literally have, well, I guess when you're betting in general, you have like no control over the outcome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like even when you're I feel like sports betting is more calculated than going to a casino because
That's
like if
probably
you
true.
follow sports, you know more about like what the factors are going into that game
Yeah, but
than
like basketball, like any given day, any team could beat any other team. You know what I mean? Like that's why March Madness
uh,
is so wild.
that's NCAA. Like if you're talking about like NBA and NFL and stuff like that, there's always upsets, and that's where like you make like if you put in 20, but like your win ratio, whatever they call it, I don't know. Um, that's where like that comes into play. Like people always bet on the underdog, but like 9 times out of 10, that's why like the payouts on like if you put $20 down on like the Lakers to win, you might win like 25. But if you put $20 down for like the Heat to win in the last finals, then you probably would have won more because more people thought that the Lakers were going to win. So it's just like a risk thing anyway. So I don't
Yeah,
know. You
yeah, that's
always,
true.
I feel like I don't follow sports that well. For the people that do, they probably make better money than if they went to the casino and just gambled.
I don't know, man. You know
I
who's really into sports betting right now? Tristan.
really.
Yeah, so our friend Tristan's really into sports betting right now. He's betting literally on anything and everything, like things he doesn't know about. Like he'll bet on like UFC fights, he'll bet on like the Kentucky Derby, he'll bet on like I don't know, like a tennis match. Like literally he'll know nothing about it. He'll just bet.
Okay, see,
And
when I said people that actually know the sport and they bet, they'll probably come out on head. Tristan, I don't know if he's actually doing it. Maybe he's like, getting lucky, or maybe he does like just have some
maybe,
kind of secret and he's making some
dude,
money. But like, I would not
I
go into
can't do
sports
it.
betting and be like, I'm gonna throw $50 on this team to win when I know
Yeah.
nothing about them. It's like me going into like I don't know soccer, like FIFA. I
Yeah.
know nothing about FIFA. I don't even know. I know Barcelona's a team. They're still playing. Yeah.
They're a
Um,
team.
yeah,
That's
I don't
it.
know who's on there. I don't even know what team Cristiano Ronaldo. Is that his name? What's his name?
Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo. You got it right.
Ronaldo. Yeah, I don't
Ronaldo.
know what team he's on.
Take a guess.
Spain.
No. He used to play in Spain. Not He's not Spanish, he's actually Portuguese, so he played for Portugal.
Uh,
But what about club team? Where did he play in Spain? What's another big team that you know other than Barcelona?
Wait, there are club teams inside country teams?
Right, like Barcelona is a club.
What?
Okay. Hold on.
Barcelona is a city where they have a team
So,
like a soccer team,
right,
Like
right.
the Miami Heat or the Los Angeles Lakers.
Exactly. Like
That's
the
part of the
Miami Heat.
league.
Right. Exactly. Same
Yeah.
situation. So you have like an international team, right? Like Spain is the international team, Portugal is the international team,
Oh, so
and
you
then
mean like the U.S. team, and then we have like Seattle who has a team who's stuff
right.
like that. Yeah.
Exactly. So like inside the country of Spain, they've got
So
Barcelona.
Barcelona's in Spain.
Yes.
Oh, okay. See, this is
What's
where the whole
another
geography thing comes into play.
Yeah. What's another big club team that you've heard of in Spain? What's another city you know of in
Madrid,
Oh, okay.
Madrid, bro. I got you.
But he doesn't play for them.
Then why did he go to this?
He used to play for them, and a couple years ago he left, and now he plays for Juventus in Italy.
So he's a traitor.
Yeah, he got into some issues with like tax evasion or something, and then the Real Madrid club came out and said like, oh, he did something bad, we're not going to support him, and then he got mad, and then he said, oh well, F you Real Madrid, I'm going to leave. I probably butchered that entire story, and people are probably going to be upset, but that's how I understood it to happen, and that's all that matters.
Blame him in the comments below, guys.
I mean, don't you feel like that's just how things work nowadays? Like if someone just says it confident enough, like it's just true. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Two plus
But
two is five. Yeah.
exactly.
No.
I mean, you could be what's the guy's name? The guy that played Lucius Lyon on Empire, uh, Terrence Howard. He did that whole thing. He did that whole thing, Terryology, where he tried to convince people 1 + 1 = 3.
In the show?
No, in real life.
No, he's just stupid.
He's crazy. He's crazy, dude. He said, something along the lines of like, how do we know that 1 + 1 = 2?
And there's some like
Because
geometry
1
behind it.
times 2 = 2, so 2 times itself cannot equal 4. Or some, I don't know, man. He said some weird stuff. He's just crazy. Let's just leave it at that. But speaking of things that are crazy, and speaking of things that are risky, let's go back to you. You said you left your job. Was that a good transition?
It was not cringe
Perfect.
at all. Fantastic.
Perfect. So speaking of that, you said you left your job and you moved all the way out west to San Jose. What are you doing? Tell the people that you're not homeless.
I was gonna make a joke and say I was homeless.
Well, I
But now I
ruined it.
can't. Yeah. I got a job at Tesla. Yeah, dude, it's exciting. It's an exciting time to be joining.
Throw some sound effects in here. Whoever's editing this, I don't know why I said that. It's me. I always edit
Yeah,
this.
no.
Whoever's editing it, throw some sound effects, throw some celebration in there. Tesla. That's
Dude,
wild, man.
it's pretty exciting. Yeah, they're doing
You
some
must
crazy
be
stuff right now.
like you're probably working with like some of the most brilliant people in this country. I don't know how you got there, but
Touche. Okay.
that's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Tesla,
Yeah, dude, it's
one
pretty
of the
wild.
fastest growing companies in America. How does it feel?
It's it's a dream come true. No, dude, it's pretty wild. Like, I don't know, just talking. I've only been here 2 weeks. I've only been working 2 weeks. The transition was not as smooth as I liked it to be.
Yeah, we
But
can talk about that in a second.
I've been here 2 weeks and just kind of getting the hang of things. And I don't know, it's just like talking to people, and everyone from like the production associates all the way up to like management, they all see the value in what they're doing. Everyone from the ground up really has like the mission statement, or they're working hard towards that goal that the company has.
Yeah.
So I think that in itself is why Tesla's so successful. Is like everyone actually believes in what the company's trying to do, which is awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
and like, the whole environmentally friendly aspect of it, going to electric. I think it's a very like they're obviously leading that charge, right, in terms of the automotive industry. And that's very cool. Super exciting, man.
Yeah, in the
Um,
next couple of years. I mean, it's been on the news with all their different products, but the next couple of years are definitely going to be interesting to see how the different products get brought out to the public and how they perceive these products and how successful they
Yeah.
are. I think that's going to be the next stepping stone, and kind of see if people buy into what Elon and Tesla are trying to do with the whole energy thing. Um,
Yeah, dude.
but I
Yeah,
think the
because
next one,
I've heard Tesla described a lot as an energy company that happens to sell cars. Would you agree with that, or would you consider them more an automotive company?
yeah. So there are three main product sources, right? Like obviously they like to pride themselves on consumption, which is comes from the cars you consume the energy. But you're really like generating energy, you're storing energy, and you're consuming energy, right? You're generating
Hmm.
through energy through like the solar roofs and everything. So, and then you have power walls, is what they're called, that people install in their homes that stores that energy so you can use it without accessing like your local power grid and paying the utility company. So you're really harnessing and generating your own power, using it in your home, and then also using the energy that you stored to put into your car and use consumption that way. So as far as like day-to-day stuff, Tesla's whole goal is that you are self-sustaining, um, and not relying on anyone for anything as far as power goes. So like the end goal is like everyone in the country or the world, it has like some, it doesn't have to be Tesla. I think like Tesla is more than happy with a different company coming out and having like a product as like a solar roof. I think they just mainly want to see that transition into the world, and they could be the first to inspire other companies to come forth and do it, or they can be like revolutionizing the world by themselves. But I don't know, in like 10, 15 years, man, I could totally see like solar roofs being a thing. People have power banks on the side of their homes.
Yeah.
And when the even cheaper um, car version comes out, I can totally see people transitioning from gas vehicles to
Yeah,
electric
man.
vehicles.
I mean, just like you're saying, like Elon Musk has been very open about the fact that he just wants the world to be more environmentally friendly. He doesn't care if Tesla's the one to do it, right? Like several years ago, they even released all of their patents that they had. They made them public, right, for how they make the battery cells and all that, which still baffles my mind. Like, how is it that Tesla has such a lead on their competition in terms of like electric vehicle range and stuff like that when all the patents are public, you know? Like any company can go out there and just look at what Tesla's doing and copy their technology, but still like they're nowhere close in terms of range and whatever. I don't know, man. It's crazy.
I mean, you can have the hardware all day, but you got to know someone to write the software side of it to make it compatible with
Yeah.
what you're trying to do, right? So that aspect is, I think, a pretty difficult challenge to overcome. And I don't know, GM's doing it. I've seen Hummer, like the new advertisements for the Hummers,
Yeah.
and they're like advertising for like 1,000+ horsepower and like 500-mile ranges and like crab walk and all this like cool stuff that like a truck should be doing. I think a lot of the reason why people don't like Hummers is because you get like 6 miles to the gallon, and it's just
Yeah.
like it's so costly of a vehicle to maintain. Whereas like an electric vehicle, like yeah, you charge it up, and if you go to a supercharger and you charge up like a car for 300 miles, I think it ends up still being like 15-20 bucks. But like depending on where you are in the world, 300 miles, like if you're in Tennessee, for instance, I think the price of gas is like $1.80 or something like that, buck
Hmm.
60 maybe for a gallon, which I could fill up for like 16-20 bucks at a gas station and go like 300 miles on my car.
Yeah.
But a lot of people can't say the same thing. And it doesn't matter if, like the Cybertruck, I think that one's going to be able to go, I don't know, it's
Like
probably going to
close
have
to
a,
600 or something.
yeah, sure. But I mean, that's going to cost, I guess, like 40 bucks to charge. I don't know the math, but
Yeah.
you can't really fill up a pickup truck that goes 600 miles for 40 bucks, no matter where you live in the country, and be
Yeah.
able to do utility wise the things that that truck is going to be able to do. As far as the windows might not be resistant to throwing a metal ball at them, but like the actual car, like you could take a sledgehammer to it and it wouldn't dent it. I don't know if you can say the same thing about an F-150. If you took a sledgehammer to the door, I bet there's going to be a big dent in the side of the door.
I
Um,
mean, yeah, part of me feels like that kind of stuff is just almost more gimmicky, like just adding features just to say that you can do them. Um, Like, because what's the use of having a truck that is bulletproof, like unless they're advertising it for like military grade use, but for like an average consumer, I don't see what the use is.
I don't think they're gloating at the fact that their their cars can withstand like bullets and stuff like that. I just think they're advertising for it because like no one goes out and is like no one buys a brand new truck to make it a work truck really. Um, Usually people buy like 5, 10-year-old beaters and then turn that into a work truck because like it takes a beating. Like
Right.
you throw rocks in the bed and you transport stuff and like it just has dents and dings. Whereas like if you get a Tesla 5 years from now, if you throw a rock at the quarter panel, it's probably not going to show that you threw a rock at the quarter panel 5 years just because that material is really strong. So
Yeah.
the upkeep and stuff on it. And I think that in itself will help retain the value. And Tesla coming out with software updates for free once you buy the vehicles, that itself keeps the car value up. Whereas like traditional, like if you go buy, my roommate was telling me this, like he has a Ford, and if he wants, he bought a couple years ago, but if he wants to update the GPS on that car, he has to go to a Ford dealership and pay like 150, $200 to get like the newer version of the maps and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Whereas
that's true.
so, like Tesla, just like, yeah, they themselves, the cars themselves cost more upfront, but in the long run, with them increasing the cost of like the full drive capability and like giving these software updates for free, you retain that car value, um,
Yeah.
rather
So
than
kind of on that same note and switching subjects a little bit. So as a engineer at Tesla, that's still very weird to say, but as an engineer at Tesla, um, what do you think the capabilities of the full self-driving are, and how long until I can just get in my car, fall asleep, and then I'll just arrive where I want to be?
um first off, I want to disclaimer, I don't work on like the self-driving, I don't work on software, so I have no, honestly, like a first-hand experience wise, I've never driven a Tesla. I think you've actually driven a Tesla.
I
um
have, but without
yeah,
it didn't have the self-driving, so I
yeah,
also have not done the self-driving.
yeah, so I've never done it, I've never experienced it. All I can say is like as for I can't attest to it. I think that the full driving is already there, and I think it's a matter of government regulations and things like that
Mhm.
um, to where it's actually like fully out there and we can fall asleep. But as to your question about like when do you think you'll be able to fall asleep, I think like 2 years ago. I mean, haven't we seen on the news like cops
Yeah,
pulling
that's
cars
true.
over with like people passed out in the driver's like seat, just like on their way to work and stuff like that?
That's fair.
So I don't think it's a question of when. I think it's just like a question of like when are people going to feel comfortable. Um,
I would do it right now.
there you have it.
I would do it.
I don't think a
Would
lot of
you?
do. I get nauseous whenever like someone else is driving. I'm in passenger and or if I'm in the back. So like even I think even if I bought a Tesla, I don't think I would get the self drive capability because
What?
I would be so uneasy and I would be just like nervous the whole time.
Yeah, but dang, dude. You haven't driven my car, have you? Where it's just got
Yeah,
all the like assist features?
yeah. I've driven your car. I hate that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like it because my brother-in-law, he has a brand like a new Subaru, and it has like the lane assist thing,
Yep.
and it has like it'll keep a certain distance between the car in front of it and itself, like it'll cruise. So if you set it at like 65 and then you creep up on a car, it'll slow down to keep the same
Yep.
distance and speed up to
Yeah.
65 miles per hour. But every single time I've driven his car, I turn that crap off because like it's so and I don't know if it's because it's just not set up the way I want it. Because like
Yeah.
it'll go to the left side of the lane, and then it'll be like, oh, I'm too far in the left side lane, and it'll go back to the right, and it's just like constantly on like a
Yeah.
straight, and the road could be straight, but it's just constantly like doing this number, and it's like
Right.
it's uneasy because you get too uncomfortably close without being in control of the car
Yeah.
when it goes to like the outer edges of your lane, and
I
I
get
I
that.
hate that. But I don't know Tesla. I think them being able to do like the whole autonomous drive thing, I think their software and their camera system is probably set up better than your car or like the Subaru that I've driven before, as far as like the self drive capability. But again, I've never driven one, so I don't
Yeah.
know. I
I
can't
will
tell.
say, like, I've only had my car for 2 years. So, for reference, for the people that don't know, I drive a 2019 Honda Accord. Bought it brand new 2 years ago, as my first big boy purchase after getting a job, and because I totaled my other car, but we won't get into that today. Um, but, even
You
in
wouldn't have
just the,
totaled your car if you would have had a Tesla
that's
because
true.
homeboy fell asleep behind the wheel, but you can fall asleep behind the wheel of a Tesla.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But, anyway, uh, my point was going to be that, like, in the 2 years that I've had the Honda, I feel like the lane assist features have gotten worse over time. Like when I first got it, I literally used to gloat all the time about how I could like literally let go of the steering wheel and it would still keep me in the lane and like continue to drive. But now, like I tried it the other day just for kicks and like for whatever reason, it didn't seem like it worked right. Like I felt like I was kind of like what you were talking about, like veering off or getting very, very close to the line for whatever reason. And I was like, uh-oh, well, I can't do that anymore.
When's the last time you washed your car? 2 years ago?
Maybe.
You probably just need to get all that dirt off the camera lens.
Well, the camera lens is underneath the what's it called? The windshield. You know what I mean? Like it's behind the rear view mirror. I don't know that there's any dirt or anything stuck there.
Well, if there's dirt on like the windshield,
Maybe. I don't know.
imagine if you put a post-it sticker on the outside of the windshield, would your camera still work?
Maybe.
Okay,
No,
maybe
I
think
get what you're
about it.
saying. Okay. Okay.
Wash your
Um
car, man.
maybe dude, maybe. I don't know.
I need to
Maybe one
wash
of these
my
days.
car.
But okay, so another question. Um or not really a question, just something I wanted to talk about. You happen to mention that you've only been working for 2 weeks and you had a very not smooth transition into your job. What happened there? Because you were supposed to start working like what the first week of or like somewhere in mid November?
Yeah, so I was supposed to start working like November 16th or something like that,
Yeah,
before Thanksgiving, and I didn't start working until December 7th, so I guess like a week and a half after Thanksgiving. Um, no, it was just paperwork stuff, man, like HR, and I think it wasn't even like Tesla's fault. I think it was like the third party background company
yeah,
that just like let the ball slip. I think it was just like during holiday time, and they probably had a lot of like wrecks and stuff like that coming through, and they just didn't do it properly. So like my background check got held back, and I was supposed to start on the 16th because Tesla thought that the background check would pass through the third party company, and then it didn't. And they delayed me a week. And then they were like, we got to delay you another week. And then I was like, I'm just going to go home and book like a one-way flight. But it was frustrating because I had to put all my stuff in storage
yeah.
in Tennessee. And then the moving company that they hired picked it up from the storage place. And then they kept it in storage for like a whole month for me while all this stuff was getting figured out because I was like, you can deliver. Like they were like, we need to deliver this, and I was like, well, I don't really have a permanent place because I don't want to sign a lease or anything until I start
Right.
working because I don't know 100%, just in case something on this background check for some reason comes back as like, hey, it's like a red flag. I didn't want to like sign stuff, so I was literally just like, I was so like not nervous, but like stressed out and kind of like irritated. But it all worked out, and it wasn't like the company's fault. And yeah,
So what was the deal? Like you were just like you had moved, you were just sitting there in California, like not doing anything
dude, I
for
wasn't doing
three
anything
weeks.
for 3 weeks. Yeah, so
What'd you do? Because like it's COVID time, you can't do anything. Like any normal year, it would have been like, oh wow, I have a 3 week vacation. Like that's
yeah,
awesome. Like I'm
yeah.
moving to a new city. Like I can explore. I can like go out and like do whatever I want, have fun. But like, especially in California, I would assume the COVID restrictions are much worse than what Tennessee is, right? So it's like, what did you
Yeah.
do?
So I got there, I think like I'm pulling up like calendar or whatever. I got there like November 11th. So like the first couple of days, I just kind of like hung out, didn't really I was assuming I'm gonna start work on the 16th. So I was like getting a bunch of stuff together for that and just getting ready. And then I think that weekend I actually went like a hike nearby. There was like a park, like a county park or something that was like 20 minutes away. So I went on this hike and it wasn't like a crazy hike or anything, but was like a short hike, but it was still like beautiful. Um, and then and then I watched a lot of Netflix because I couldn't, like you said, I
Oh
couldn't
my
do anything.
gosh.
I couldn't do
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
I kind of like explored the area, and I picked up a bunch of food at like a bunch of local places, and got coffee at some nice coffee shops, and just like did like the normal thing that you do when you're kind of forced into like a new area without like actually meeting people or doing
Yeah.
anything with people. It was just like, I don't know, it's kind of boring, to be honest. But
That's the hard thing, man. Like, yeah, since I've moved here too, like we haven't really hung out with very many people or gone out much at all, really. Um, and I'm glad I haven't because so a bunch of the like banking kids, the ones that I like recruited with, um, after interviews and all that stuff were over and people started getting offers, they were all like, "Oh, let's go celebrate." And I never went because one, I hadn't met anyone. It's in Chapel Hill, which is like a 30-minute drive, and I was like, I don't want to drive 30 minutes. But also, I was like, COVID, like they're going to bars and stuff. Probably shouldn't do that. And they like a bunch of them went to this like 40 something person house party, and like 10 of them came back with COVID. And I was like, oh my God, you guys are all so dumb.
I'm not gonna lie, if I was in your shoes, I probably would have gone, and I
I
probably would have gotten
know.
COVID.
Dude, it's crazy. And like we're about to like go back to Tennessee for Christmas too. And so it's like I'm trying to be extra careful with the whole quarantining and everything to make sure like we don't take anything back with us. Um it's hard, man.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
so I want to know though, what is the best food that you've had since you've been to California?
Oh, if
I
the
feel like
one
you eat a lot of Mexican
place,
food.
dude, the tacos are amazing. And I already liked like Mexican food. I already like tacos and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So it's just great. And a lot of like, I would have to say, I think in the first week I moved here, I was trying to find a place to live, and I was going around checking a bunch of places out. And I went to go see this place, and I noticed while I was driving there, I passed this taco truck, and I was like, it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock. I could use like a little snack, get like a couple
Yeah.
tacos or whatever. So on the way back, I parked and I got two tacos. And I think the first taco truck I went to had the best tacos. I've been to like three or four now. And that one was by far the best. And it was like the first week I was here. So I can't even remember where it was. It's a sad thing.
Wow.
I have no
That
idea where
sucks.
I was.
But it was just like a
Um,
food truck like on the side of the road or the
yeah,
parking lot or
there's so
whatever.
many of those around here. Yeah.
Dang, dude, I wish we had that here. I mean, actually, I'm sure we do. I just haven't like gone
Yeah.
around and looked.
We
Um,
went to we went to one, me, you, and Barb. I don't know if it was in Knoxville. They had like three food trucks and like
yeah, it was
yeah,
in Knoxville.
yeah, that was
Yeah,
pretty nice.
she had found like I don't remember what it was called. She would remember, I think.
Yeah, it was in like
But
a parking lot, and they just had like a bunch of benches and like live music or something
right,
like that. Yeah.
right. That was
Um,
I
but
remember.
like because of COVID, they also stopped doing like cafeteria style stuff at work. So there's usually like
Oh,
there's like three or four spots throughout the factory where like each spot will have one to two food trucks that pull up, and there'll be like different food options every day.
is that a normal thing or just a COVID time thing?
So I think before they didn't do it, they had this like catering company that did it, but now with
Hmm.
COVID, they got rid of the catering company and they've been bringing in these food trucks. So I think post COVID, they'll probably stay doing the food truck, and they'll probably open up like the internal cafeteria options for the people who preferred that.
Yeah.
Um, but there's one food truck that's like barbecue from these guys that moved from Texas. Dude,
Ooh, Texas barbecue.
yeah, it comes to work every Thursday. So I don't take my lunch on Thursdays because
Every Thursday, dude, you're gonna be spending so much money, but you're probably
uh,
making that Tesla money. You're making that
mm,
bank.
no, I'm broke. California, the state of
You
California
got
is
taxes.
sucking. It's yeah, they're just taking everything, man.
I mean, that's why everyone's leaving. Elon Musk's leaving California.
He's
He's
already
going
left
to
California.
Texas.
He's already in Texas.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's crazy, dude. He just said,
But
"You deal with this, these taxes. I'm not gonna do it."
for me, it's like a decent amount. I can only imagine what it is for him. He could probably like build another factory with the amount of money he's paying in taxes.
You're probably right. What are taxes there? Do you know the percentage
Uh,
for state tax?
I don't know off the top of my head. I did it all when I was moving here just to see, but I
Yeah.
don't remember off the top of my head. I remember for like people who make more than $1 million, it was like the total federal and state taxes was at like 50%.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
And they were like thinking about even increasing that. And so like people who were making more than $1 million were just like, I'm
Why
not
would I
giving
make more than $1
I,
million?
well, first, like I'm making more than $1 million, and then to live in California, like federal taxes for people who make 1 million, I don't know, is probably like 25-30%, something like that.
I think the highest rate is 39, but like that's marginal, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, you're not
I
paying
don't
like
know what the effective rate would be.
yeah,
You're probably right, probably somewhere in the 25
but
range.
like for the state of California to be like we're going to tax you another 20%, it's like it's outrageous.
Yeah,
So
that
like,
that is kind of
a
crazy.
lot of people actually moved from like California to like Vegas and stuff like that because Nevada is no
Zero
state
state
income
income
tax,
tax.
and
Yeah,
like Texas and a lot of
that's the
places.
move. Does Texas have state income tax? I don't know.
No, they
But I know
don't.
Texas is like the cheapest cost of living relative to what you get or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like cost of housing in Texas is apparently like really cheap, like per square footage.
yeah.
Um,
I'm assuming that all
so
that's gonna, like
I don't
implode
know.
because like everyone's moving there, right? It's
Right,
like the thing
exactly.
that
Same
happened
thing's
in
gonna happen to
Nashville.
Vegas too.
Yeah, it's the same thing
Yeah.
that happened in Nashville. And it's funny because like I was talking to a guy at work and he was talking about he's been at Tesla for like 3-4 years, something like that. And he's been renting this whole time, but he's like, man, I kind of want to buy something. And we were talking, and I was like, well, everyone's moving out of Texas, so I don't really know if like the housing market
Right.
is gonna like continue to grow and continue like increase. And I was like, and because like
It's probably still gonna go
even
up.
rent is like going down at a lot of places. Like
Really?
a lot of apartment complexes, they're like to incentivize people to like make the move, are like giving away like 2 to 3 months rent for free.
Wow.
Yeah, which like the rent is still like for like a 2 bedroom apartment, they're still charging like over $3,000, but they're given like
Oh
three
my
months.
God.
But they're
For
given
how
3 months.
for how big of a space?
I don't know, probably like 1,000 square feet,
How many bedrooms?
2 bedrooms.
3,000. Wow.
So, but like here's the thing, like they give three months free, so like your month to month now drops to like $1,000
Yeah.
for the over the course of a year. But like most people don't like to move after a year of like
Yeah.
getting an apartment because like you like the area, you got all your stuff settled, you don't really want to move.
You don't want
So
to
then you
move.
yeah, so then you actually like the second year you're paying that $3,000 because they're not gonna just give you 3 months rent free again.
Right.
But they're like sucking people in right now and
Yeah.
hoping that they don't move out next year, and then that's when they're gonna just make a killing.
What you need to
Um,
do is you need to keep working at Tesla for like 2 or 3 years until they get that new factory in Texas up and running, and then you make that move to Texas.
might have crossed my mind, man. Might have crossed my mind.
But anyway,
I don't even think it's gonna be 2 years. I think that factory is gonna be built in like within a year.
really?
Dude, they build stuff fast.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna ask last thing before we go for the week. Um, how long are you gonna work at Tesla?
3 weeks.
What?
I put in my 2 weeks last week.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
That's okay. That makes sense. Well, Niche, I'm glad that we're back on the Barely Indian Boys train.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm sad that you moved all the way to California, but when I eventually have a job one day, I'll come and see you.
You don't
And
need a
since you
job, you bum. I'll pay for your flight. Come visit me.
really,
I got you.
we have proof. He said it on the podcast here first, folks.
All right, whoever edits
If
this, edit that part out.
if he doesn't pay for my ticket, then I don't know. We're not friends anymore. That's what happens, man.
All right.
But anyway, thanks for hanging out with us for the last 45 minutes or so. I'm Jerome. This has been the Barely Indian podcast, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.